I think you guys know what time it is. It is time for our go time music. PAL. It's PALracing. Season 1. Race 4. And it's Matthew Hill who is in command. And as they go through the restart zone, Matthew Hill is going to lead us to green. And already with a good jump, here comes the rest of the field behind. And the Wizard of Zol 225 is underway. Just like that, ladies and gentlemen, PALracing Season 1 Race 4 at Kansas is a go. To get already see Matthew Hill being followed in the corner by Jacob Alicia. Both cars are lucky to run that high line, but look at Jacob Alicia with a good run. Dives down to the bottom of Matthew Hill. We'll see if he's able to clear him going off into the corner. Matthew Hill now stuck on the outside, but he loves rolling the top, and we got to think about that tire wear, guys. 150 laps at Kansas. These tires are going to fall off fast. You see Timothy Perriman and your screen lap down just now joining the race, making room for our lead lap cars as Matthew Hill is going to retain the lead towards the front underneath the blanket. Look at this top 5, top 6 coming down the front stretch. Jacob Alicia still with the lead. Christian Snyder to the inside of Matthew Hill looking for P2. Matthew looks like he might be able to finish and go through the corner, and look, diving to the bottom is Lucas Lewis in the 30 trying to get a run on these leaders as Matthew Hill back up top, but he might have a really big run on Jacob Alicia here. And all that I can think about in the back of my head, guys, is this tire fall off. What's it going to look like when we get to the end of this fuel run? How slow are these cars going to be running? But none of these drivers are worried about that now. They're trying to get that track position. Look at Lucas Lewis. He almost looked up 3 wide through the middle. Down to the grass. Christian Snyder's going to run him to Lucas Lewis in the 30 car. As we have a yellow, and it appears Cody Rhodes. There may be an issue with Cody Rhodes. I'm trying to skip around. Let's go see. Cody Rhodes stopped on the backstretch. We have a replay. And as we're under caution, let's go ahead and take a look at Cody Rhodes and see what exactly happened. Replay here. Looks like he's top of 3. Comes off the wall. Collects Chris Warren as the pace truck pulls off. This is Matthew Hill's dictation now on when he wants to go. Christian Snyder, Jacob Alicia there on that outside lane. Get a little push to Alicia if he can, but Matthew Hill is going to clear all the cars as he goes down into turns 1 and 2. And look at Lucas Lewis already battling on that inside. Looks like he might be able to full clear. Yes, he does. He does end up full clearing Jacob Alicia. Looking for that 7th position as he gets down to the bottom underneath. And Lucas up into the wall just a slight. Lucas Lewis is going to get completely passed by Brett Powell, and even Raymond Wimmer starts to come into the picture. Looks like we have a caution. There may be an issue with the 45 machine of Sal Nicosa. Big rear end damage for that machine. He's making his PAL debut. We got a replay ready. Let's go ahead and watch it. Sal Nicosa on the top. Chris Warren on the bottom. Oh! Contact off the wall. Chris Warren cannot get away from this. Chris Warren once again caught up in another driver's contact. Let's go to the cockpit of Chris Warren, if we could. Let's watch it from Chris Warren's perspective. In slow motion, coming off the wall. I mean, there's just nowhere for Chris to go. And once again, Chris is going to find himself with front end damage. Look back towards the front and the restart zone. Anthony Callahan in control to his outside. Jacob Alicia, followed by a pair, Matthew Hill and Christian Snyder. And Anthony, he's going to get a good jump here. Matthew Hill is going to be able to clear that outside line, and Matthew Hill will start to work his way up to the front on Anthony Callahan. We know he doesn't want to be hanging around behind him for too long. He likes that clean air, and he likes to be leading. Look at this. 3, 4 wide behind them. I believe that's Lucas Lewis, Brett Powell, Douglas Henry. They're all 3 wide here. Look at Douglas on the top side with Jacob Alicia. They are going to continue to stay 3 wide down the tri-oval. Look at Barrett dropping all the way to the bottom. He's currently running P5. He might be able to clear some more. Lucas Lewis in the middle got a little bit of a wiggle, but he is going to hang on and look at this battle here. This is the battle for P4, and they are still 3 wide down the backstretch, and it looks like 50 Cal Pal with the big boom is going to clear all of those cars into P4 as Greg Jodid already wants to start to work on him on that high side. And it appears we might have lost Jacob Alicia. Jacob Alicia P16. And at this very moment, Jacob Alicia contact with the 48 of Ethan Walker keeps it straight. But we got to figure out what happened to Jacob Alicia before this. Matthew Heel looks to the inside of Anthony Callahan, guys. This is for the lead. Matthew Heel on the bottom, Anthony Callahan up top. Matthew not able to clear him on the front stretch. We'll see how he does on the bottom in turns 1 and 2. And like a rocket on a rails, he is going to get a good run, but gets a little bit tight off the corner. Anthony Callahan is able to cross over. And look at Brett Powell. He wants to have a say in this conversation. He's looking to stick a nose in wherever he can. But it appears Anthony Callahan might re-clear Matthew Heel for the lead up in front of him. Down off the corner, going down the front stretch. Matthew Heel to the bottom. Might have him by just a nose there as they go off the turns 1 and 2 and do it again. This time Matthew's able to enter a little bit higher. This is where he's most comfortable. Anthony Callahan going to take advantage of the cleaner on the bottom to see what kind of rolling speed he can get. And he almost gets just alongside Matthew Heel as they head down the back stretch. Anthony Callahan to the bottom now. Might have a little bit of a better drive this time. We saw Matthew Heel might have gotten a little bit slower on entry. Might have gotten a little bit tight. And although Callahan is the leader at the line, Matthew Heel is taking it back on the bottom. And you got to think about what this is doing to both of these competitors' tires. As Brett Powell even dives down to the bottom, trying to find his way around these 2 cars. He has the speed. He's just backing up his corners a little bit, waiting for his opportunity to make a move. As Anthony Callahan once again to the inside of Matthew Heel. He won't clear him on the exit of this corner. He did get a little bit tight there. You see that back end step out. That's him overcorrecting, trying to make sure he stays off of the 53. And the 53 has just better rolling speed on exit. He might be able to clear Anthony Callahan going through turns 1 and 2 and may just be the full clear here. And Brett Powell is now working on that lead from Matthew Heel once again. Brett Powell might just clear him off the corner. And look at Matthew dive down to the bottom. He has enough of a run maybe to be able to clear him. As they go, Jacob Alicia, as we understand, did not check tires, had a little bit of a hiccup. And he's just back here doing what he can to stay consistent and fast. And as I understand, he never went back in to get tires. So Jacob Alicia, is he on 70? Maybe he did go back in to get tires, and that's why he came out P16. It must have been a quick stop. Maybe grabbed right size only because he didn't need fuel. We'll have to ask him and kind of see what he did to clean that up, because he is running pretty far up front for having what would theoretically be 80 lap old tires. And I just got confirmation he is on 80 lap old tires. Lucas Lewis now coming down pit road. With him is Brett Powell, Christian Snyder. Let's see, is Matthew Heel as well. Matthew Heel is leaving Gary Smoke out front with Douglas Henry. And that's your through the field as they do pit stops. Jacob Alicia changing those 80 lap old tires. Pretty solid job. And honestly, if I was a competitor, I'd be pretty scared for him to be running that quick up front with those old tires. It appears your battle for the lead should be right here. Anthony Callahan, Matthew Heel. There's the difference for your relative leader. Anthony Callahan, good stop on pit road. He is going to get pulled away. And we'll see how consistent this 13 car can be. Matthew Heel, in the time we have been talking, did gain about 0.5 Let's go on board with Matthew Hill while I crack something open to drink. So I'm starting to stumble over my words with a dry tongue. And watch him as he just gained another 10th on Anthony Callahan to reel him in. When we went on board with Matthew, the gap was around 3.3. It is now just around 2.0. We saw it flicker down. There it is. And Anthony Callahan, I think, just brushed the wall. Got into the wall a little bit there, bringing the gap to 1.8. Is Anthony feeling the pressure of this charging Matthew Hill? Running down Mr. Callahan. 7/10 now. And I would assume it's an easy pass for the lead. He has so much speed. Now, we don't know how Matthew was able to run when it comes to the bottom of the racetrack to be able to complete the pass, but he has eaten away at Anthony Callahan's lead with such pace and momentum. It'd only be a matter of time before Anthony Callahan just gets too slow in the center of the corner. Matthew could just get to the bottom. And watch him just caress the car around the top. You can see Anthony Callahan, that car is drifting back down to the middle of the corner on exit. That's not gaining him speed, guys. He is so tight in the center of the corner. He's getting so slow that car's momentum and kind of willpower around the corner with the angle, if you will, is making that car lose momentum to the fact that where he can just turn left down the exit of the corner. That's not what you want to do. Now watch Matthew Hill. Keeps the car up in this lane, gets into the throttle at the right time to carry the momentum, burps it enough to be perfectly straight out of the corner, and with a hefty run on Anthony Callahan. That's the difference here. Maybe a little bit of skill. Could be how he saved the tires. And it could be Matthew Hill is just that excited to go get this lead here. Just under 50 to go. Matthew Hill, the Wizard of Zaw 225, would add greatly to that driver's resume. He's wanted the baby car. He won at Auto Club for the Hillwood development. Taken, well, really stripped of a win at Richmond. It was a last lap pass that got him loose. Saw contact between Daniel Honeycutt. Moved out of the way for the Confederate Capital 188. But now Matthew Hill back to the front here as he begins to try to clear Anthony Callahan on the bottom of the racetrack, trying to get this lead back. And he's going to do it perfectly before green flag pit stops. If we do see them again, I don't know how the field looks. But Matthew Hill looking to clear Anthony Callahan. Chris Warren jumps up the track, a lap car. Trying to get out of the way, trying not to block anybody's clean air. But maybe Matthew Hill could use Chris as a pick. Chris kind of caught in the middle, 3 wide, but he does slow down both cars, but it's just enough for Matthew Hill to clear Anthony Callahan. Anthony with the crossover. Matthew stuck on the top of the racetrack. He might have brushed the wall there. Anthony back to the bottom, but does Anthony Callahan even have the speed to use the bottom half of the racetrack? I'm not sure. That car is super tight. He is going to give up the lead. Matthew Hill is going to full clear, and Matthew Hill is just 40 laps away for being the winner of the Wizard of Zaw 225. What could stop him now? Definitely a late race caution won't come out at all. Maybe we'll use the caster curse, spice it up a little bit, but regardless, Matthew Hill has so much speed. I've been looking up and down our scoring sheet right now. There isn't really a car that's gaining. Oh, but just at the same time, I believe that might have been Was that Dustin Alexander? Who was that? Dustin Alexander, the Viagra car, was around entering pit road. Let's check the replay, see what happened. Dustin Alexander here in the 22 car. Coming down off the apron, looks like he wants to enter pit road, locks it up. And because he stops down there in what is a raceable part of the track, that does bring out the yellow. Throws all strategy out the window. Now it's a new strategy. Take 4 tires and fuel. If you're farther in the back of the pack, I'm talking around P13, P14, you only take 2 tires because you don't need a full tank of gas to make it to the end. So you'd have enough time to cut off by just taking 2. We'll have to see. Matthew Heel, he's going to take all 4 tires. Alicia's taking 4 tires. Here comes Anthony Callahan. Ooh, that was close. I'm not sure who beat who. I think Matthew Heel got him. No, Anthony Callahan has beat Matthew Heel off pit road.
Green, green, green.
And here they come down the front stretch, taking the green flag. Anthony Callahan did not get as good of a jump on Matthew Heel as maybe you would like to see, as Matthew Heel now is already working on the 13th Anthony Callahan. We'll go ahead, hit blimp view, watch this field as they get spread out down the track. But no, they're all single file, and they're right up to the wall. Just like what Anthony Callahan said, it's how quick you can get to that wall and how close you could be without touching it. Keeping that speed, this is your difference between the leaders. Anthony Callahan, Matthew Heel, Douglas Henry, Greg Jodet, Barrett, 50, Cal Powell. That's your top 5. Jacob Alicia just outside of it. And watch these cars rip the high line. This is beautiful to see. It's going to be a tough pull for Douglas Henry to clear both of these cars for the win. We see these guys running up near the fence. It's hard to get a good run down to the bottom without hurting too much of your speed. And oh my gosh, Matthew Heel's in the wall. Clipped by Douglas Henry. It is a wreck and the caution is out. Matthew Heel, Douglas Henry involved. And they seem to drive away okay, but we do have pretty bad damage on the Matthew Heel machine. Oh my, big rear end damage. Maybe race ending for him. Let's go look at Douglas Henry. Jared Mayo seemed to have had a little bit of damage, maybe not. Douglas Henry, the front end of that car destroyed. See Matthew Heel up into the wall. Douglas Henry nowhere to go, and he's just on him. No room at all. Oh, who was that caught a little bit of contact? That was Greg Jodet. Might have some right front damage. These cars go to avoid. Gary on the bottom. Actually, hit in the rear by his teammate Raymond. I did not catch this before. That sends Doug airborne. That's where a lot of that damage is from. Raymond Wimmer in the back of his teammate Gary Smoke. See Douglas up and over. That's where I saw Jared Mayo sideways. I wasn't for sure. Big contact on a lot of these cars. Jared Mayo involved. Gary Smoke involved. Raymond Wimmer. Big front end damage. Might have caused a little bit of a bobble, but here they go. End of turns 1 and 2. Just under 20 to go. Anthony Callahan to the bottom, trying to defend what he can. Jacob Alicia just behind him. Greg Jodet does get cleared. And they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And look at Christian Snyder looking to the bottom of Samuel Lang out of around P7, P8. Got a good launch, and here he is trying to make his way up to the front. As look at Greg Jodet. He's making the move on Jacob Alicia. Greg Jodet to the bottom of Jacob Alicia, trying to clear him. He had him at the stripe. Does he continue with this momentum? They touch just a bit. Alicia up the track. Saves it, does get into the wall, and Greg Jodet in the 19 car is going to go ahead and take the second position. There's Anthony Callahan in the lead. Here it is, Jacob Alicia back with another run of on Greg Jodet. Got an insane run. Christian Snyder to the bottom side. Look at the difference. Christian looking through the middle, fills a gap in front of Barrett, and they are just about 2, nearly 3 wide abreast as they come down the front stretch. As it is from our bird's eye cam. Look at Greg Joda on the top side of that purple car. 3 wide. Christian Snyder to the middle. Trying to get a run. He just about clears Jacob Alicia. Here comes 50 PALcal on the outside of Alicia himself. Just behind them, Samuel Lang, Jacob Pettit battling. And Christian Snyder looking for P2. He just might get it. He does get the clear. Quick, but he's definitely really scrubbing those tires. Look at the gap, look at the distance, now looking to the bottom. Here comes Christopher Snyder on the inside of Anthony Callahan. He's finished second in the last couple of races, or just in the top 3. He's been the bridesmaid, but never the bride. To the bottom of Anthony Callahan, looking for the lead. This could be for the race win. Christian Snyder bottom. He is going to clear Anthony Callahan off the corner, and Anthony Callahan falls to P2. New leader, 32 car, Christian Snyder. Absolute GOAT. We're seeing in the chats, one of the best Kansas races of all time. And by all time, I assume they mean Kansas and the racing it produces in real life and in the sim rig. This was a fantastic showcase. It's Christian Snyder coming down the front stretch in the 32 car is going to be a PAL race winner. First career win for the 32. And we expect, of course, many more to come. But it's a solid P2 for Anthony Callahan. Great P3 for Barrett Powell. P4 for Jacob Alicia. And rounding out the top 5 is their boy, Greg Jodet. We'll let him finish his burnout. And we'll pull him up here in just a second. See his teammate, good friend, Jared Mayo, stopping on the front stretch with him. Let's go ahead and talk to Chris. Chris, this is Noah up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Buddy, how does it feel? You're finally a winner. You finished second multiple times. You've always been in contention, but now you have won yourself the Wizard of Zaw 225.
I'm kind of shocked. I mean, I was fastest in practice, but I knew that was just hot lapping it. Saved tires pretty much all race, and that strategy that I pulled for taking no tires on that one pit stop really paid off. It saved me a set of tires late in the race, and yeah, once the caution came out, I said I'm taking 4 tires and I'm not saving tires anymore. And I almost caught the wall a couple times on that last run, but man, I came into this, I have the flu right now, and I was like, probably not going to win, probably won't even finish, but ended up finishing it out, and I can't believe it.
Well, absolutely, Chris. Congratulations, buddy. Celebrate strong. You're looking good in the points. Have fun.
Thank you.
Anthony, this is Noah up in the booth. You got a copy?
I do.
Well, you brought home the car in P2. As we agreed, you didn't quite have that speed that you needed, but it's a great, consistent run. It's helping you in the points. Tell us about your race here at Kansas.
Felt pretty good. Ran the high line pretty good. Not as high as others, but I just wanted to be safe. And Snyder just had the right pit strategy with the 10-lap fresher tires than everybody else, and he was able to kind of steal it from us.
Alrighty. Well, where does your mindset shift, knowing that you have the speed in the car, your ability to run up front, and we go into what will be Watkins Glen? Do you see yourself as a road racer? Are we going to see that consistency out of you, or is it going to be survival?
I think first couple laps will be survival, but road racing, I have the better record in stock cars than I do on road cars, so should be pretty fun.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Anthony. Barrett, 50 Cal Pal, this is Noah up in the booth.
Yes,
you got a
sir.
copy?
Yes, sir, I absolutely do, my man.
Well, buddy, you sure
man.
drove that car up to the front, and there were a few times where it looked like you were the man in contention. Go ahead and tell us about how the race went for you.
I mean, it was all right. I just feel like I underperformed a little bit. I feel like I could have been a lot better. I could have saved the tires a little bit better. I was trying to save the tires a little bit better coming towards the end and all that. And it was kind of crazy because I remember I was getting up there in the top 3, and I was trying to lead a lap and try to get in front of Matthew Hale. but didn't really work as expected going up against him. He's pretty good. And then whenever I saw him wreck, I was like, oh man, this is kind of my chance. Maybe I could like win or something like that. But no, I placed third. It's pretty good. The race was fun. It was pretty tough, I guess you could say. And yeah, I just enjoyed it a lot.
Well, you've had great consistency, Barrett. You've been up there up front. Seems like every race we see you working your way into the top 5, even the top 3. In terms of points, you're looking really good, but where's your confidence level going into Watkins Glen?
My confidence level is really high, actually, because I'm really good on road courses as well. So looking forward to that, and I hope I can win it. I mean, there's probably other people that are really good at road courses as well. That's what's going to be fun about it, so I'm ready for it.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Barrett.
No problem, man.
Well, y'all, that was your PAL Wizard of Zal 225 at Kansas Motor Speedway.